Board Game Social, hosted by Dean Leggett. Board Game Social, hosted by Dean Leggett. You might think you've seen something, but you ain't seen nothing yet. So many games, it's unbelievable. You couldn't play them all, no. That would be inconceivable. Well, Dean's gonna check some out for you. Shine a little light on just a few. Board Game Social, hosted by Dean Leggett.
Hello everyone, my name is Dean from Board Game Buffet Podcast, and today we're here to take a look at a game called Affliction, Salem 1692. That's right, a worker placement game that actually has some theme involved. It's by DPH Games, plays about an hour, 2 to 4 players, worker placement, engine building, a little bit of tableau building. How's it play? Let's find out. Alright, taking a look at the components, the chits and the player boards are of nice quality. They're thick enough. They handle a lot of gameplay. I would probably recommend that you sleeve the cards because you are constantly picking them up out of the card rows. If you are going to sleeve them, you're going to want blank or a clear backs because you need to be able to differentiate the two different decks when you're setting up the game. So keep that in mind as you do it. The art is very thematic in the sense that it's black and white. It's not over the top. It really keeps with that very puritanical theme that the game has going for it. Very much like the box cover, which is a nice stark black and white. Okay, the gameplay itself is going to really center around two different boards. One is your player board, and the other is the worker placement board, or what they call the esteemed. Each player is going to get a player board, and you're either going to be representing Salem Town or Salem Village, depending on the number of players. This board is, if you look at it to the one side, you're going to have your arrested people that you're going to arrest to confiscate their property, and on the other side, you're going to have your inner circle. These are people that you're bringing in to gain not only their influence, but you're gaining their special abilities, hopefully to help you further along in the game. The game board itself is called the Esteem, and this is really the crux of the game. This is where you're going to be placing your workers, or as I call them, messengers in this game, and this is where you're going to determine what actions you can take. If you look at the board, there's a couple of actions on here that are duplicates of each other, probably because they're going to be used a little bit more often than others in the game, and it really centers around a couple different abilities that you can do. You can gain influence tokens, and these are the tokens that you're going to use to either bring people into your circle or that you're going to use to arrest people. They're basically the influence that your family has in being able to sway and hold power over other families. There's also accusation tokens. Accusation tokens are used to lessen the prestige of people and reduces the cost for people to arrest them. Someone has to have been accused before they can be arrested in this game. You can steal the first player marker and protect a person. You can protect anyone you want. It can be someone out in the field that could possibly be arrested, or it could be someone within your own inner circle. But like any good Euro worker placement game, being able to get that first player token and get first choice on where you're going to go the next turn can be really, really important in this game. You'll also notice these symbols over here, these little hammer symbols. This is the engine building aspect of the game. It's a slight aspect to the game, but it still is a nice little, I hate to use the term gateway, but if you're going to introduce someone to engine building, this might be a good way for you to do it. And these are different special powers that different characters or different personalities had. Some of them are to generate more influence. Some of them generate more accusations. Some of them generate fear, which fear can be used to place on other people, which if they get enough fear, it will reduce their ability to generate influence or even to use their special abilities. You can arrest people on the player board. First person to arrest just does it at the normal cost minus the accusations. Second person does it at a slightly higher cost. They have to pay a +1. There's a spectral evidence spot. The spectral evidence spot allows you to place this token on someone, which reduces their defensive ability if they're in someone's circle, or it allows or cancels out their special abilities. It can be a pretty powerful token to get a hold of. So on and so forth. There's more accusations, there's more influence to be gained, and then finally the last part is bringing someone into your circle. So how do you generate victory points in Affliction Salem 1692? It's pretty simple. You're going to get a victory point for each colonist you bring into your inner circle. You're going to get a victory point for each colonist that you arrest. In addition, some colonists have property icons on their cards. You're going to get an additional victory point for each property icon that is in your arrested column. You will get an additional 2 victory points if you arrest a particular family. You might be against the Putnam family, or maybe you're against the Proctor family. And you're also going to get 2 additional victory points for having certain family members in your inner circle. So again, maybe you want to have Porters in your inner circle. Maybe you want to have Proctors in your inner circle. Your player board will tell you what you're going to get your points for. And then finally, each player is also going to get a grievance card. And these are hidden victory point goals that only you will know about. You'll have 3 colonists on there that you'll get 2 extra victory points per each one that you arrest. And then you'll have 1 colonist on there that you want to protect and try to prevent other people from arresting to gain, or so that you don't lose 2 victory points. So over the course of the game, players are going to take turns placing their workers out on the steamed or out on the game board, choosing which actions they want to take. And they're going to be generating influence and generating accusations to place out on the board. You want to save your influence to be able to bring people into your inner circle or to be able to arrest people. And you want to place your accusations out there to lower the prestige value of the reputation value of certain individuals that you want to arrest. And people are going to go back and forth doing this. You have to be careful because sometimes you can put accusations on players or on characters that other players want, which reduces the cost of them before you can actually arrest them yourself. Or sometimes it can telegraph what you plan on doing when you place your meeple out on the game board, so people will try to block you and do various things. It's a lot of going back and forth trying to decipher what your opponent's going to do so you can either prevent it or beat them to it. The different colonists out there, you're going to have 2 rows of colonists, a regular row of colonists, and then a prominent row of colonists. And each of them does different things based on the bottom of their card. Again, this is the engine building aspect of the game. The end game is triggered by one of 2 things. There are 2 cards that are placed in the bottom part of the deck. You see, beginning of the game when you do the setup, you take 6 cards out, plus you add in the 2 special cards. So with somewhere within the bottom 8 cards of the colonist deck will be the end trigger mechanism. And when one of these 2 characters comes out, either Increase Mather or Mary Spencer Hill, who was the governor's wife, it automatically ends the game at that moment. No one else gets any other turns. It's not like it's an even amount. It ends immediately. And this is very historically accurate because of what was happening during the witch trials. With everything was fine and dandy until they started accusing the governor's wife, and then the governor put the kibosh on it and shut it down immediately. All right, so once the end game is triggered, you tally up the victory points, and that is the winner of the game. So some final takeaways about Affliction Salem 1692. First off, this game, I was smitten by it at Origins. It was almost an instant fall in love moment for me because of the theme and because of the very simple, very accessible game style, game design with 3 mechanisms that you can teach to almost anybody, especially if they're new gamers. But don't take that in the wrong way, because even if you're a veteran gamer, there's still enough going on in this game that you can play a quick Euro style game in an hour or less. So it doesn't have to be a 3-hour Euro to be a great game. You can still have a great game in a short amount of time, and that's what this game does. So check it out, Affliction Salem 1692 by DPH Games on their website, $30 price point. It's available also on, I believe, at Cool Stuff Inc. And I don't think that you're going to be disappointed. It sees a lot of playing time in our game group, and I think it will in yours as well. So on behalf of Board Game Social and the Board Game Buffet podcast, you can check us out on iTunes, on Libsyn. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. See ya.